I am live. Yay! And it is noon, so I'm going to pray really quick. Omni Mater Ergo Logos Inanna Inanna Naki Aika. Omni Mater Ergo Logos Inanna Inanna Naki Aika. Omni Mater Ergo Logos Inanna Inanna Naki Aika. Please help us get to the golden age and help us to continue to become the best versions of ourselves possible. Hopefully you guys are having a great day. I'm glad that you could be here with me. It is a rather cold day outside, so I'm really happy to be inside. As you can see, they've got some Christmas decorations up. Hopefully you can hear me hopefully you can hear me well. Aaron says he's doing good. Thanks, meditating, praying all day. Astral moon in Capricorn. Okay, that's interesting. I'm not sure what the astral moon thing means, but prayer and meditation is always good. You are water fasting until after your podcast, after my video. Thank you. That's awesome. Many of you who are friends with me on Facebook already know, even from the YouTube community page, I recently did a 36-hour group dry fast, and thank you, Aaron, for confirming. And that just ended at midnight. I'm planning on the 16th doing a 60-hour dry fast right before Christmas. So hopefully you will join me for that. And I do want to talk about dry fasting for just a little while. If you're not on, if you are on Facebook and you're not in the dry fasting community yet, you definitely should join. We're doing group dry fasts, and I've been making new memes and putting out more information about dry fasting and health in general. So yeah, you definitely should do that. Dry fasting is a really natural way to heal yourself of any disease, any virus, any cancer. When animals are sick in the wild, they don't go to the doctor. They dry fast until they heal. So it's definitely really natural. It's definitely safe. And to get to longer dry fasts, like if you have a serious illness or issue like a cancer going on, you're going to need to dry fast for multiple days in a row. Dr. Filanov is one of the pioneers of dry fasting and one of the main voices in the community, although I don't agree with everything they say. They have seen people heal from cancer and various things and suggests like 5 to 6 days of dry fasting a week, back-to-back weeks. And then by doing that, the whole autophagy process and just fasting is going to help break down any cancer cells and really put your body on track to be healed, mind, body, and soul. It's not just a physical healing, it's going to heal your soul as well. Being in this reality, we've been abused, we've been crushed down, we've been, corrupted, and dry fasting is a really effective way of healing from all of those issues, right? And so yeah, definitely join the dry fasting community and get on board with the group dry fasts. And if you have any more questions about that, definitely let me know in the future in the chat. Again, thank you for being here. Aaron says astral moon meaning sacred secretion, aka Kundalini metaphysical seed, once a month, 12 times a year, each zodiac. Oh, okay. Each zodiac sign during each sun moon cycle, 2.5 days, the allegory for the Christ resurrection. I have heard about this before, that pineal gland secretion. Is it from the pineal gland? I've heard the concept before, but never, fully looked into it. Do you have a website or anything that other people that are, tuned in can check that out? George W. Carey or Santos Bonacci for more information. Okay, right there. All right. Hey, Mega, how's it going? Thomas Hall says, we just had the Sagittarius Eclipse. Good vibrations. All right. What does the Sagittarius Eclipse mean? I was going to say something, but I kind of lost my train of thought. Anyways, so I'm going to read a little bit from the Gospel of the Holy 12. I've had some people ask me to read, so I've been reading, the lections in order every Sunday. and this is going to be lection 4. You'll have to look through my other live videos, the past 3 lives on Sundays, to get the other lections. But I'm going to dive into this really quick. It's the Nativity of Jesus Christ. I'm just going to call him Christ because people want to argue about his name, and that's really not the point. So, anyways, now the birth of Iesu Maria is what this one calls it. The Christ was on this wise. It came to pass in those days that there went out a decree from Caesar Augustus that all the world should be taxed. And all the people of Syria went to be taxed, every one into his own city. And it was midwinter. And Joseph with Mary also went up from Galilee out of the city of Nazareth into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because they were of the house and lineage of David, to be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, who was great with child. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. And she brought forth her firstborn child in a cave, and wrapped him in swaddling clothes, and laid him in a manger, which was in the cave, because there was no room for him in the inn. And behold, it was filled with many lights on either side, 12, bright as the sun in his glory. How cool is that? Like, you have a baby in a cave and there's bright lights just shining all over the place. It gets cooler. All right. And there were in the same cave an ox, and a horse, an ass, and a sheep, and beneath the manger was a cat with her little. There were doves also overhead, and each had its mate after its kind, the male with the female. Thus it came to pass that he was born in the midst of the animals, which, through the redemption of man from ignorance and selfishness, he came to redeem from their sufferings by the manifestation or the sons and the daughters of God. I love that. Came to, through the redemption of man from ignorance and selfishness, he came to redeem them from their sufferings. So cool. And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And when they came, lo, the angel of God came upon them, and the glory of the highest shone around about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ, the Holy One of God. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly host praising God and saying, Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace towards men of good will. Obviously, those of you who are familiar with the Bible have heard this story, but obviously the Essene version is a little bit different. And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts. We read that. Okay. And it came to pass, as the angels were gone away from them into heaven, the shepherds said unto one another, Let us now go even unto Bethlehem, and see this thing which is come to pass, which our God hath made known unto us. And they came with haste, and found Mary and Joseph in the cave, and the babe lying in a manger. And when they had seen these things, they were made known abroad the saying which was told them concerning the child. And all they that heard it wondered at those things told them by the shepherds. But Mary kept all these things and pondered them in her heart. And the shepherds returned, glorifying and praising God for all the things that they had heard and seen. And when 8 days were accomplished for the circumcising of the child, his name was called Iesu Maria, as was spoken by the angel before he was conceived in the womb. And when the days of her purification, according to the law of Moses, were accomplished, they brought the child to Jerusalem to present it unto God, as it was written in the law of Moses, every male that openeth the womb shall be called holy to the Lord. Last week I kind of mentioned about this whole circumcision issue and about how some scholars say that biblical circumcision is different than modern circumcision. Either way, I think that Mary was wise enough to know that she shouldn't be chopping up her child's genitals. So I don't believe that it is the same at all as modern circumcision. I'm completely against that. And I believe that our Creator is as well. And behold, there was a man in Jerusalem whose name was Simeon, and the same man who was just and devout, waiting for the consolation of Israel. And the Holy Spirit was upon him, and it was revealed unto him that he should not see death before he had seen the Christ of God. And he came by the Spirit into the temple, and when the parents brought in the child Iesu, Maria, to do for him after the custom of the law, he perceived the child as it were a pillar of light. How cool was that? Then took he him up in his arms, and blessed God, and said, Now lettest thou thy servant depart in peace, according to thy word. For mine eyes have seen thy salvation, which thou hast prepared before the face of all people, to be a light to lighten the Gentiles, and to be the glory of thy people Israel. And his parents marveled at these things which were spoken of him. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary his mother, Behold, this child is set for the falling and rising again of many in Israel, and for a sign which shall be spoken against. A sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And there was one Anna, a prophetess, the daughter of Phanuel, of the tribe of Aser, of night and day. And she, coming into in that instance, gave thanks likewise unto God, and spake of him to all them that looked for redemption in Jerusalem. And when they had performed all things according to the law, they returned into Galilee to their own city, Nazareth. One of these little footnotes here. Well, I think there's two. Yeah. It talks about the animals. The animals mentioned here in the nativity scene are sacred to the deity in various countries and religions. The cat and the dove being specifically honored and protected in Egypt, the most ancient center of civilization, religion, philosophy, and true science, according to this book. I personally think the lost continent of Mu is definitely older than that. But as the symbols of Isis, the cat and the dove being associated with Isis, the foreshadower of the divine mother of Christianity, forth from thence to redeem humanity. And then the other little note here is interesting. It says Iesu Maria is the complete name. Iesu meaning he shall save, and Maria his people. So Iesu Maria meaning he shall save his people. Jesus, or Iesus, I don't know how they pronounce it here, is only the first part of the holy name. He saves his people, not at once the entire human race, but those of good will, men and women of peace and obedience to the divine law. And by these, they're in the gospel, as indicating that only the first part of his mission is now. When all men and women are gathered in, then will Christ be manifest as the complete Savior, Iesu Maria. I kind of thought that was interesting. I think this whole Essene gospel of the Holy 12 is really interesting. And I actually just posted a quote from the Essene gospel of peace, and it was regarding fasting. So let me just read that really quick. Hey everybody, I will catch up with the live chat in just a second. Here it is. For I tell you truly, except you fast, you shall never be freed from the power of Satan and from the diseases that come from Satan. Fast and pray fervently, seeking the power of the living God for your healing. How cool is that? And right on time with all of this fasting that I have been doing. And like I was saying earlier, if you're not in the dry fasting community, definitely you should do that. Thank you, Aaron, for the links regarding the sacred secretion that goes on once a month, and everybody that is listening can check out some of those links there. Do you even Sage says eclipse portal started 2 weeks ago, lunar, then a solar eclipse. It is a beautiful time to release what no longer serves you and lift our frequencies for humanity. Bless you. That's awesome. Thank you for the information. We appreciate that. Aaron says, Essene's heart. I've been reading the Holy 12 in between my meditations. I'm about to read Sermon on the Mount chapter. Awesome. Yeah, like I was saying before, there's a lot of stories in here that line up with the stories in the Bible, but it has obviously a more balanced approach when it comes to masculine and feminine divine. Modern day religions we're taught that the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit are all male, right? Like male, male, male. When these ancient cultures, like I was just reading, Egypt, the father, mother, child, that was the Trinity, right? This group of three, this powerful bond, right? The mother, the father, and the child. I absolutely love that. And that kind of goes along with like 3 being the magical number, and it being used in various ways in different religions, the Trinity, and obviously the powers that be try to use the number 3, 6, and 9 against you and me. I've mentioned this before. It's like when you're going to cast a spell, you might get different magical catalysts, maybe different stones, different candles with different colors, basically that have different properties that help to strengthen your spell. And in their black magic spells, when they are casting them over us, they're constantly using 3, 6, 9, these numbers. They're using colors, they're using signs and symbols, they're using hand gestures, any and all of these different elements to add to their magical spell and make it more powerful. So I definitely encourage people to look into the original meanings of all of those types of things to understand what they are and how they have been inverted and demonized and used against us. Hey, ganged up, how's it going? Quick, remember the earth. Haha. Flat earth. Playing. Gotta go have fun. Good stuff. Cheers. Keep it up. Thank you, ganged up. Have a good one. Aaron says, Egypt, heart. LOL. I love finding comparisons in philosophy in the Holy 12 that we don't see in those Bibles created by the Romans, Illuminatists. It's a fun word, Illuminatists. Egyptians are talking about Jesus Christ. Yes, and there's more that will be coming in future elections talking about the Christ going down. Thank you so much. Going down to Egypt to learn different ways of the Egyptians, their teachings, and other things like that. So, love hunting. I want to talk a little bit more about dry fasting because something just popped into my head. I've already mentioned pretty much, everything about dry fasting that there is, and I keep banging on about it, but it's like the best way to purify yourself. I actually had somebody in the grocery store yesterday, ask me what I would take for an upset stomach, and I said, I don't suggest putting anything in. You don't need to put anything in to achieve health. Like, the best thing you could do is just stop putting anything in at all. Just abstain completely and allow your body to really focus on the healing mechanisms. Once you start to get into a fasted state, your body, your cells basically, instead of eating the fuel that you're putting in, it starts cleaning out your cells, getting rid of all of the junk, and making you whole again. Dry fasting is 3 times as effective as water fasting, and there are a lot of people on, even just on Facebook that are sharing their experiences with it, talking about going weeks without water and food. Obviously, dry fasting is no food, no water, and it's definitely definitely quite impressive. It's exciting to see humans waking up to, what our bodies are capable of. And the fact of the matter is that we have self-healing machines, right? We just need to get out of the way and let them do what they were meant to do. It's not only humans that are created like this, but also other species. Like I said earlier, other species, when they're sick, they don't go to the doctor. Well, the wild animals, obviously. If you have a pet and it's sick, then you probably take it to the vet. But animals in the wild don't like, oh, I'm feeling sick, I'm going to go to the doctor. They just dry fast, right? They already naturally know how to heal themselves, and it's really cool because this same self-healing pattern is observed like all across Yah's creation, and just going off of that, we can deduce that the earth herself has the same types of mechanisms, right? So if we stop spraying, so if we stop poisoning and fracking and doing all of the things that are hurting the earth, she can heal and truly become once more that Garden of Eden paradise that humans were originally created in, and our creator wants us to enjoy. Hey Fezza, how's it going? Hey from the UK. Anyone else realizing Christmas has been transformed into a satanic ritual? Yes. It definitely has all the Satan clause lying to your children. I never really understood that. Like, thankfully, my parents never lied to me about Santa Claus. It was like my dad is Santa Claus, right? It was kind of like, why would you? This person that I worked with, like, she told me that she would put her name on all of the presents that were like, notebooks and boring stuff for school. And then when it came to an exciting present, she would put Santa Claus's name. I was like, you are here every day working with me, busting your butt, and you're going to give credit for that present to somebody else who doesn't even exist? Like, I don't know. Obviously, the whole lying aspect is wrong, but it's like, I want my children to know that I worked hard to give them this present, like, because I love them, not lying to them and saying some fairy tale brought it to them. Like, what is the actual purpose of that? I personally don't get it, but yeah. Aaron says, first day dry fast, what would you recommend it on, 8 hours or more? I think that the first day that I dry fasted, I did like 21 hours, and I was aiming for 24 and I failed. Like, I was having an emotional breakdown, like crying. I'm like, what is the purpose of life if I can't even eat? Like, just real intense. But it's definitely gotten better over time, and I'm addicted to the results that I am getting from it. So I'm gonna keep pressing on. Most of the time, what we're eating anyways is killing us. So it's like, if you really want to live a long life, if you really truly love yourself, then why are you poisoning yourself, right? I'm guilty of eating junk food still, don't get me wrong, but I'm definitely trying to get better. And yeah, I actually have been getting better. I just broke my fast with some cotton candy grapes, some apples, some kiwi, I think some mandarins, really good stuff. So anyways, still standing. Hi everyone, just joining the live for the very first time. Hey, how's it going? You're just talking to your daughter about this. Very cool. There are no coincidences with our reality. It's really cool how, the synchronicities like that happen. Hey, Greg, how's it going? Greg says, hello, gorgeous. Always nice to listen to you. You're an amazing woman. Thank you, Greg. I appreciate that. Before I went live, I actually had some guys like, hey, you're that girl that goes on YouTube. I'm like, yeah. Pretty cool. Definitely interesting to go out in public and like have people recognize me. I was at the store one time, and during the lava fire, if you haven't seen my videos, there was like a fire right across from my wildfire right across the road from me, and I was doing updates about the fire, putting out videos, and people someone actually came up and said, "Thank you so much. Your videos really helped me, have peace of mind to know that my house is okay during all of this." So that was really cool. I'm really glad to be able to do this, to be able to connect with you. And as always, if you have other questions, definitely put them in the live chat. I'm going to start to shift my focus and actually talk a little bit about the culling. Even Sage says Dolores Cannon, the woman that created quantum healing hypnosis therapy, spoke of dry fasting and that in the future would be essential. That's interesting. All right. I want to say something, but at the same time, it's like, I don't know. I've seen some of Dolores Cannon work, and I can't personally jump on board with anybody who promotes anything about globe Earth and any of that stuff. But that's cool that they talk about dry fasting. Do you know, is there a book? Is it in a specific book, or do you know where they talk about the dry fasting? Anyways, moving into talking more about the culling, obviously, Agenda 21, the depopulation agenda, Georgia Guidestones. Most truthers already know this. It's like really basic, fundamental truther knowledge, just like the fact that all presidents are selected and groomed, that nobody is getting in there without being controlled, including Trump. The depopulation is happening obviously through the jabs and the virus variants that they are creating. It shouldn't be any surprise to people that they are releasing more than one virus, like they're trying to kill us off, and pestilence is one of the ways that they do that. And obviously, there's a lot of germ versus terrain theory, arguments going on. In reality, germs do cause issues, but if your terrain is pure, your immune system is going to fight off any diseases, any viruses, any cancers. So rather than wearing a mask and getting a jab and doing anything unnatural to try to prevent getting sick, try dry fasting, try purifying your diet, try not putting poisons in, try breathing fresh air and getting out in the sun and exercising and all of that good stuff, right? Yes. Even Sage says, I'm loving dry fasting and feel less hungry and less cravings each day. That is awesome. Usually I find with dry fasting, I don't really feel so much hunger as mainly just thirst. So I do find that it's a little bit easier to do, the fasting during the water fasts. It's like you still are having hunger pangs and hunger issues the whole time. But with dry fasting, I just find that it's a little bit different because you're more focused on thirst. Anyways, not just different viruses being unleashed on us, but 5G being used alongside of viruses, right? Giving us underlying health issues, helping the viruses to thrive. If you haven't seen my meme series on Virology 101, I did post it to my community page here on YouTube, but I've also posted it on Facebook, on my own personal page, and some other places. But I know I'm getting heavily shadow banned. It's really, really irritating. Like, if I post a picture of myself, I'll get 100 people liking it and something, but if I post actual truth, then it's like crickets. Like, is this really what the world is right now? Like, a selfie will get hundreds of likes, and the actual truth of our reality just either people aren't seeing it or they don't like it. It's like so shallow. I don't know, irritating. Anyways, I'm sure there are also Facebook algorithms at play. Just the whole concept of making your selfie, seen by everybody, so that the person is feeling loved and they want to post more to get them to keep posting on Facebook. and also, on the other hand, hiding the truth, right? The powers that be obviously don't want you to know the truth about viruses. They want you to be a clown saying that viruses are part of your body's immune system when your body cannot make a virus. Like, it can't be made outside of a genetics lab. There's a whole process to it. You go and you gather different pieces and you put them together, and you actually have to do something to create a virus in a genetics lab. It doesn't just appear naturally. So yeah. Aaron says, same here for shadow banning. Yes, I did notice that on your page as well before. Like, just lots of truth and nobody even seeing it. They definitely want to discourage us with the shadow banning, with the banning in general, right? Being on 30-day bans and losing accounts and everything. Still Standing says, the next time you guys dry fast, I want to try it too. I need to detox my body of all kinds of stuff. Yes. I'm planning another group dry fast starting Thursday the 16th at noon, and that'll be a 60-hour dry fast. That'll be the longest one that I've ever done yet. And if you're not ready for 60 hours, don't worry. I encourage people, no matter where they are, to join us and just go as long as you can. It's really not easy to do something completely against what you've been doing your whole life, your body, your whole being. You're used to eating 3 meals a day. A lot of us are used to eating out of boredom, and it's getting over the actual chemical addiction of the food, the addiction of the pattern of doing all of this stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth it though in the end. And also, right along with the culling, dry fasting and fasting in general is going to help you not only, help the immune system, boost the immune system, but famine is also another one of the weapons that they are going to use against us. I keep saying this because hopefully people, will actually take me seriously and prepare. But there are, within like the last 2 years, they've had food dumping, right? Like all sorts of different food just getting trashed. The drought, the flooding, the chemtrails just really hurting the growing season itself, hurting the plants so that they can't grow as much. All of the ships, the warehouses that aren't sending out, they're not importing, they're not exporting goods, like all the backup in the supply chain. People really need to be prepared, and famine and fasting is one way that can help you when it comes to famine, right? Because you've already gotten used to not eating. I personally, it's like I know for sure that I can go at least 8 days without food. That was my longest water fast, was 8 days. And I know for sure that I could go even longer than that if I needed to. So it's definitely empowering and helps to get prepared for the future, not just body, but mind, emotionally, mentally as well. Getting ready to not have food, and yeah, it's going to strengthen your soul and your spirit, and really invigorate you. So hopefully you'll try it. Still Standing says, how do I join? I'm not on Facebook or Instagram. I got kicked off for some reason. Oh, you're naughty, huh? Join the club here. Yeah, I'm on my 3rd or 4th account now. So losing the first one is really, really sad. It's devastating. But then it's all right. I know that they own this platform. I understand that they're trying to discourage me from doing what my soul came here to do. So I'm gonna keep fighting back. I'm gonna go change my phone number so I can keep my Facebook account. I'm gonna change my phone number again if they kick me off, and so I can get a new account. Just roll with the punches at this point. Erin says, Anana posts updates here on YouTube on her community tab. Yes, I do. I definitely try to. 8 days no water. Wow, that is great. Thank you, Erin. I know a lot of people have gone even further than that. But pretty much I did that extended dry fast or extended water fast, and then shortly after I learned about dry fasting. And because dry fasting is 3 times as effective, it's like you might as well do 4 days of dry fasting and not 8 days of wet fasting. It also, the fact that it's 3 times as effective means that you can do it every week, right? Instead, you can't do eight days in a row every week because there's not 8 days, but you can do 4 days dry fasting every week and get the same types of effects in the amount in the window of time that you have. Gandhi did 21 days or something like that. I'm not sure, Aaron. I don't really know anything about Gandhi. I only know about the Christ and about the 40-day fast in the desert. But even then, it doesn't really specify whether it is a water fast or a dry fast. But you'd think being in the desert, it would probably be on the dry side. But then also being in the desert, it's going to be hotter. So if you're in the desert and you're sweating, that's going to make the dry fasting experience a lot worse. You're losing extra fluids. So I don't know about that. Hi, Shauna. How's it going? Shauna says it's sad that people in North Korea and in some parts of the Sahara, Africa, are starving, but we fast to cleanse our bodies from the food and negativity. Yeah. You definitely fast for them. That's nice. That's really sweet. Teresa said, I'm thinking of trying a dry fast. Any downsides? Any issues with focus or concentration? Yes, that can definitely happen. Your body, the first time that you even try to do dry fasting, your body's going to go through a crisis mode so that it can learn how to make metabolic water. And obviously, you can have some issues with focus and concentration, but it can be the flip side. Like I've experienced both sides of it. I've also experienced, headaches and muscle pains and nausea and different side effects like that. But I expect that to happen. Your body, is working through all of these toxins that you've been eating your whole life. So it's going to bring up underlying issues to the surface as you're getting healed. But most of these things I found that you can just go outside and ground, and it'll help get rid of any headaches or muscle aches, sleeplessness, stuff like that. I just usually go and ground. Shauna says, I tried the water. It is so hard. Yes. I definitely understand, Shauna. I am heavily addicted to food, although I am getting a lot better through fasting. But, yeah. Aaron says, drink more the night before Anana, then start dry fast once a week. Yeah, I usually, whenever I'm going to start the fast, I will wake up before and drink a lot of water to hydrate before I start the fast. Yeah, I'm thinking of in the future going through, the more pure your diet is going into the fast, the faster the different stages of the process are going to go, the faster you're going to get into the autophagy. And what was I going to say? Eating a lot of carbs and junk food is going to slow the process down. Some sources say that, people that are consuming the right diet, these stages can start within 20 to 24 hours, as opposed to people who are eating a bunch of carbs and, a bunch of junk. They might not start the same process until, 48 to 72 hours. So I'm definitely going to experiment with my own diet in the future and see how, just doing a ton of fruits the day before, extra hydrating fruits, just think of a tasty grape and all of it not only fills your tummy, but it hydrates you, right? And fruits are ultimately what we are supposed to eat. And one more thing to mention, like if you are heavily addicted to animal products, the flesh, sugar, caffeine, if you're really addicted to these, if you eat them right up to the time that you fast, you're going to have a harder time than somebody who isn't addicted to those things, right? It's not just like I was saying, it's not just the chemical addiction side that you have to deal with. There's also demonic attachments that you have to deal with as well. So the more pure you are in your diet, even getting to purity in your diet, you're going to have to go through these, different demonic attacks and different changes to even be pure. But the more pure you are, the easier it is going to be, for sure. Rig 5 says, glad you're helping people fast. Thanks. Aaron says, thanks for the tip. Absolutely. You are welcome. I also created, if anybody is on MeWe, I created the dry fasting community on there as well. And I also created it on Instagram. So, yeah. Shauna says, a lot of political prisoners in exile fast for strength, and they use your tips, and they use the tips you're giving. Oh, wow, cool. Hey, Jerry, catch you later. It's so hard. Definitely. That's really sad. Political prisoners. Our governments are run by psychopaths. Do Even Sage says, our beautiful ordained bodies need to purge. It has to release then the clarity. I love barefoot grounding. Nature is such healing. Yes, it is. Absolutely. The whole fasting process is, your body breaking down all of the junk, all of the crap. And then when you start to refeed after you end your fast, then your body goes back into a building up mode, right? So you need this destruction and rebuilding mode to destroy the old, to get rid of all of the precancerous or cancerous cells that you have in your body, any diseases, get rid of all of the unhealthy garbage in your cells, and then recreate new. Obviously, I would encourage you, when you come back from your fast, to have a pure diet. Although I'm guilty of coming back to junk food, the most beneficial way that you're going to come about healing, the most benefit you're going to get from your fast is coming back to a pure diet as well. So that being said, though, I do tell people, especially if you're new to fasting and you're doing like these short fasts, if you're craving a vegan cheeseburger after you put yourself through hours and hours of torture, it's like, just go and have the vegan cheeseburger. It'll be all right. Come back to the fasting next week, and hopefully you'll want to be more pure next time. I've actually read whatever, a lot of people saying that, they weren't vegan before, but then they went through dry fasting and actually changed what their body was craving, so that they went vegan, they went raw vegan, etc. So it can definitely, not only heal you, but completely change you from the inside out, which is really, really exciting. So Aaron says, very good, Do Even Sage. I miss walking on Earth. Too cold here now. Yes, the ground here is freezing as well. Is it snowing there yet, Aaron? Do Even Sage says, coming up on a decade being vegan. Wow, that is amazing. That is awesome. Do you remember what triggered you to go vegan? Aaron says, good for you, Sage. Me, about 3 years. Steady now. Well done. That is awesome, guys. Has snowed more coming up. Yeah. Okay. It hasn't snowed here yet, thankfully, but like I was saying, the ground is frozen, so I'm not really looking forward to that. Thankfully, I can go about like an hour or so south to Reading and be in warm weather even during Christmas. So during the winter, I definitely go down there as often as possible to flee from the cold weather. Yeah, I like the whole concept of winter birds, is that what they're called? Like people that live in the north and then go south for the winter and then come back after. It's like I don't want to be cold. All right, Stephen Sage says, thank you to Aaron. We are opposite here. Summer. Okay. Awesome. Very cool. So, anyways, back to the calling. 4 horsemen, pestilence, famine, war, and death. just to wrap up this just little touching on the calling here. Different weapons, if you will, that we need to be aware of so that we can survive and ultimately survive and create a golden age. This world is a blank slate that can be, that anyone can draw a picture on, essentially, right? And create the reality that we live in. And ultimately it comes down to will. Only will can force their will upon. That kind of sounded weird. Only will. Whose will? By will is how we change the world, and obviously dry fasting strengthens your will, but ultimately there's only one chalkboard, only one picture can be drawn. So us as humans getting on the same page and actually focusing on manifesting the same future rather than everybody manifesting different futures is obviously important. The darkness that we are against are united in their new world order, right? Even if they don't like each other, different factions of Satan's armies are working towards the new world order, and their vision is united. And as compared to humans, which we're not united at all. So many humans, I mean, they're going to accept the new world order through Trump, like the Nasara, is that what it's called? Nasara and Gassara or whatever. Yeah. This whole National Global Economic Security and Reformation Act, basically canceling all debt and creating a golden age through the same flipping people, not even people, the same anti-human clowns that have been ruling over us for all of these years want to say, oh, just trust us. We're going to implement these new laws and everything's going to be hunky-dory. It's like, I'm not drinking your Kool-Aid. Like, I don't consume fluoride, so no, I'm not buying it. Like, but anyways, the point is that we have to be united, and people having false hopes in Trump, people having their own dreams, essentially, it's like, it's ultimately not going to work to manifest a golden age. We all have to focus on what we want, and then manifest it. I've mentioned before, if just right now, if 50% of humans would go vegan, it would stop the new world order in its tracks. The humans that are still funding animal abuse, funding their enslavement, are literally perpetuating and fueling the new world order. So many people in the truther community want to say that they're fighting against the new world order, while their daily actions, their daily food intake literally adds fuel to the fire. The powers that be, know the karmic mechanisms, and they work within them. So if we stop doing the evil that humans are doing, then they will stop doing the evil to us. And, some wouldn't even call it evil. They would say that what's happening to humans as a species is karma for the crap that we have done to every other species. Aaron says, Mark Passio speaks of how they are united and we are not, and how creation recognizes unification, good or bad. Humanity needs to stop fighting amongst themselves, divide and conquer. You're absolutely right. And which way we turn, they're trying to divide us in another way, trying to divide us on race, trying to divide us on political stance, trying to divide us vaxxed versus unvaxxed, masked versus non-masked, every single which way that they can get us to turn on each other rather than coming together and uniting against them. Very, very easy manipulation that they are capable of, performing on humanity. But yeah, we have to be united, and then we can truly see a better world, right? And ultimately, the golden age that I promote, that I am here to manifest, is what is best for everybody. Like, you might think that what is best for you is a golden age where you can eat in a sense for 3 times a day and you don't have to give up your bacon and, you know, whatever. But guess what? You're wrong. That's not what is best for you. That's not what's best for the world. And it's not going to be a golden age if you keep eating animals. So, yeah, all these humans want to say what their own paradise is, but ultimately what we want, is to be free. We want to be able to live and enjoy life, go explore, not have to worry about putting food on the table, not having to worry about making ends meet, having the necessities that we need for free that Mother Earth provides for us. And ultimately that can happen. So it's pretty exciting. And hopefully you are on board with manifesting that, not just in word, but also in deed. We have to actually change our actions if we want to change the world. We can't keep doing the same thing, keep going down the same path that's been fueling the New World Order for thousands of years and expect it to suddenly stop. We have to switch directions and do something different to change it. Even Sage says, triggering to go vegan was all beings having liberation and harmony for our earth. Gary, okay, was a guide in that moment, and it was a feeling of a better world. That's very cool. Gary has some really good lectures, I've heard, so very cool. All right, guys. Well, I am actually going to get ready to head out of here. I really enjoy chatting with you. And if you have any questions or any topics that you want me to cover in a future live, please definitely let me know so that I can do that. And I will be back with you on Wednesday at 3:33. So make sure that you take care. Yes, it is an artificial tree in the background, Aaron. Had to look closely. Anyways, so until Wednesday, I hope that you have a great week. May God and the Goddess bless you.